Hello everyone, welcome my YouTube channel. Elon Musk reverses course, says SpaceX will keep funding Ukraine's Starlink service for free. US billionaire Elon Musk tweeted on Saturday that SpaceX will continue funding Starlink internet service in war-torn Ukraine, apparently reversing course after SpaceX asked the United States military to pick up the tab. SpaceX's Starlink satellite internet services have been a vital source of communication for the country's military during the war with Russia, but as CNN exclusively reported earlier this week, SpaceX warned the Pentagon that it may stop funding the service in Ukraine unless the U.S. military kicks in tens of millions of dollars per month, according to documents obtained by CNN. The letter also requested that the Pentagon take over funding for Ukraine's government and military use of Starlink, which SpaceX claims would cost more than $120 million for the rest of the year and could cost close to $400 million for the next 12 months. The report elicited a torrent of tweets from social media users both defending and criticizing the move. A tweet from Musk's verified account posted Saturday said, "The hell with it, even though Starlink is still losing money and other companies are getting billions of taxpayer dollars, we'll just keep funding Ukraine government for free." Since they first started arriving in Ukraine last spring, the Starlink satellite internet terminals made by Musk's SpaceX have allowed Ukraine's military to fight and stay connected even as cellular phone and internet networks have been destroyed in its war with Russia. A Pentagon spokesperson said Friday afternoon that it had been in communication with SpaceX about the funding of the Starlink satellite communication product as well as other topics. In response Saturday to a follower who replied to Musk's tweet, "No good deed goes unpunished," Musk said, "Even so, we should still do good deeds." Musk on Friday had doubled down on SpaceX's request to the Pentagon in a series of tweets. SpaceX is not asking to recoup past expenses, but also cannot fund the existing system indefinitely and send several thousand more terminals that have data usage up to 100x greater than typical households. "This is unreasonable," read one post from Musk's verified account. SpaceX's suggestion that it would stop funding Starlink also came amid rising concern in Ukraine over Musk's allegiance. Musk recently tweeted a controversial peace plan that would have Ukraine give up Crimea and control over the eastern Luhansk and Donetsk regions. After Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky raised the question of who Musk sides with, he responded that he still very much supports Ukraine, but fears massive escalation. One Ukrainian official, Mikhailo Podolyak, an advisor to Zelensky, appeared to extend an olive branch in a tweet posted Friday, writing, "Let's be honest. Like it or not, Elon Musk helped us survive the most critical moments of war." Foreign Ministry. Iran is accomplice of Russia's crimes against Ukraine. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine released a statement calling on Iran to stop supplying weapons to the Russian Federation. The statement is released on the website of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Ukrainian diplomatic service emphasizes that in the case of continuing arms supplies to Moscow, Tehran will be considered complicit in Russia's crimes against Ukraine. "We call on Tehran to immediately stop supplying Russia with any weapons. Otherwise, Iran and its leadership will bear the strictest responsibility, including within the framework of international legal proceedings regarding Russia's crimes against Ukraine," the statement said. The ministry also emphasized that Dmytro Kuleba, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, appealed to the ministers of foreign affairs of the EU member states to impose sanctions on Iran for helping Russia. Tough sanctions against Iran are gaining particular relevance amid reports of the Iranian side's intentions to transfer surface-to-surface ballistic missiles to Russia for their use in the war against Ukraine, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs reported. It was also stressed that in recent weeks, the Russian Federation, using Iranian Shahed 136 loitering munitions, has carried out attacks on Ukrainian cities more than 100 times. Drones hit residential buildings, playgrounds, power plants, sewage treatment plants and bridges. The buildings of 2 diplomatic institutions were also damaged. Dozens of people were killed and injured. It was emphasized that a third of Ukraine's energy infrastructure was affected. Providing weapons for waging a war of aggression in Ukraine and killing Ukrainian citizens makes Iran complicit in the crime of aggression, war crimes and terrorist acts of Russia against Ukraine, the Foreign Ministry stated. On the morning of October 17, Russian troops launched a massive drone attack on objects in Ukraine. An Iranian drone hit a residential building in Kyiv. As a result of the attack, 4 people died, including a pregnant woman. 19 people were rescued. As previously reported, the day before, the Washington Post reported that Iran plans to transfer short and medium-range ballistic missiles, ATEH-110 and Zolfagar, to the Russian Federation. Air Force shoots down 8 Shahed kamikaze drones. Air Command Center shot down 8 Iranian-made Shahed 136 kamikaze drones approximately at 2100. Source: the press service of the Air Force. Quote, 6 of those flying munitions were shot down by fighter aircraft, air defense units, and mobile fire groups of manpads. Another 2 Shahed 136 drones were shot down by anti-aircraft gunners of the ground forces. Details: in addition, at about 1500, air defense forces shot down 2 Caliber cruise missiles fired from the Black Sea. Russia to send more tanks, ACVs to Belarus amid threats to Union State. According to him, Moscow will transfer about 170 tanks, up to 200 armored combat vehicles, ACVs, and up to 100 guns and mortars with a caliber of more than 100 mm. The deployment of NATO groups near the borders of the Union State in the absence of dialogue, increased intensity of NATO training activities with a focus on offensive actions, encouraging Belarusian radical elements to overthrow the government of Belarus are considered threats to the security of the Union State, the representative of the Ministry of Defense wrote. However, no such NATO deployments have taken place, leaving it unclear as to which threats the representative was referring to. Ukrainian Air Force spokesman Yuri Inat said on October 17 that Russia was attacking Kyiv and northern regions of Ukraine with kamikaze drones from Belarus. Russia attacked Kyiv with kamikaze drones on the morning of October 17. After the first attack, a fire broke out in a non-residential building, and several residential buildings were damaged. As of 3:55 p.m., 4 people had been reported dead under the rubble, including a 6-month pregnant woman and her husband. 19 residents were rescued. Good day to everyone.